groove you find is the key now. Reach your fear and you will all be free now. Community, it's time to get better. You can't avoid it, we're all in this together. Head high, fill your heart with love and light now. Come together and it will be alright now. Come together, you can't run forever. Come together, it's now or it's never. Community, kids are dying in the streets now. Change your mind, unity is all we need now. Community, kids are dying in the streets now. Change your mind, unity is all we need now. Change your mind, unity is all we need now. Change your mind, unity is all we need.
Yo, Community All Unite is back, and we got some stuff for you, some good stuff. Guess why? Because my HIU family is here. Hampton University is in the house, and we are here again. And guess what? I'm going to send it to all the alumni stuff. I'll be sending this out. You guys know I am representing Hampton to the fullest, and we got Nadiyah Smith-McCoy here. And she was there right after me. But I don't know if she heard about me when she was there, but I thought I was something. I thought I was really doing something. I thought I was there walking around campus and I was leaving footprints for people to follow. But I'm doing that. I'm trying to do that right now. We're trying to give you footprints. Young people, I don't know, it might be old people, whoever wants to do something in their lives, I'm trying to bring people to this platform so that they can get a map to how one person did it. Now you're going to do it your own way. But you can follow this narrative and then use some little turns lefts and rights and do it a little bit different, but follow it and get to the goal. The goal is to be successful. The goal is to get accomplished your dreams and your goals. So Community All Unite TV, Comcast Cable, and Xfinity every Thursday from 8 to 8:30. And we are doing this, and it's on channel 1097 and 190. I almost forgot that. 1097 and 190. And we have Nadiyah Smith-McCoy here. She is a choreographer. She is an educator. And now she's a realtor. So that means she's going to help you find the home of your dreams. And that also means that she's making some money. Yay! Yeah. So say a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
I want you to talk about your legacy and how legacy you want to leave. I want to talk, if you had a legacy before you got started, that's good too. Mm-hmm. But just give them a storyline of how you got to where you are.
Okay, so I consider myself to be a self-driven go-getter. Mm-hmm. I am a proud single mother, a North native, born and raised. Now recently moved to West Orange. Actually been there for a couple years now.
Where in Newark?
Oh, South Ward.
South Ward? Okay.
Did my schooling there. In fact, my dance training, I did North Community School of the Arts. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I am a very proud person who believes in community.
Sure.
I believe in uplifting and educating our children and our youth. Mm-hmm. So a little bit about myself. I am actually a licensed teacher. I am a New Jersey licensed teacher. I have my K4 elementary ed certification. I'm also a licensed dance teacher. I had spent the last 20 years as a professional dance educator. Actually, the last 10 years, right before I switched to become a real estate agent, I was in Orange Public Schools as a dance teacher at Rosa Parks Community School, where basically I help develop and cultivate that program as a dance teacher.
Sure.
We had some really, really great programs. We actually were one of the first schools in Essex County to pilot a program that was sponsored by NJPAC and Disney. We actually put on 3 great Disney musicals. We did Aladdin, we did The Lion King and the Aristocats, where I was both the director and the choreographer.
Wow.
I had the privilege to also do some curriculum writing for NJPAC. I was part of their teacher resource committee back in 2019, where I actually had 2 of my publishings actually put out for their curriculum guides. So I was very proud of that. And I still teach off and on, but more so now I decided to take a humongous leap of faith,
Yeah.
and trust myself and trust my inner voice and trust God to take a new path.
Yeah.
Which is in real estate, which has
Right.
always been a passion of mine, and actually is part of a legacy of mine. And my great aunt, I will attribute this to her. My great aunt, Lovey S. Bussey, was one of the first African American brokers in the state of New Jersey back in the 70s.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize it, growing up, used to seeing zoning maps and in her office space, not knowing what it was, but knowing that she was a woman of influence, and that she had a lot of ties in the community, being in Newark.
Yeah.
So back in 2018, this is going over past a decade teaching, there was just a tugging in my spirit. I just felt that there was a need for me to change. I felt that I kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
And even though I was very successful being a teacher, being a dance teacher and a performing arts contributor in my school district, just something in my spirit said it's time for a change. So with a lot of prayer and a lot of quietness, coming back in stillness, trying to figure out my next move, and always, again, knowing how important real estate is, I decided to walk away from being a teacher.
Sure.
And I'm being a vested teacher, 10 years in, actually over 10 years in, and very comfortable. I decided to walk away from it completely.
So why couldn't you do it on the side?
Well, the reason why I didn't feel like it was something for me to split between the time is because with me, I feel that if I focus all my energy on one thing, I won't be partial to another, especially with education and dealing with children. I wouldn't want to half step my teaching with my students.
Yes.
I want to be fully present. So trying to juggle both, especially the high demand, as being as a teacher, number one, and then being a performing arts teacher, number two. A lot of it is not only inside school, but also outside of school, after school programs, preparing for concerts and things of that nature. I just felt that it was time for new blood, for younger blood to come in and take over my position, because it was already established, and to just move forward. So I decided to change. So back in 2018, I actually decided to go to real estate school. But the good thing that I did for myself is I know how I study. I knew that I should start studying before the actual course. So 2018, the beginning of that year, I actually started studying before I actually got to real estate school.
That's smart.
So I took 7 months. In fact, I had a girl.
Let's pause on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say that again. Because you know what, I am doing a similar class, and I want to, I like to always expand my knowledge and different things that I'm involved in. Of course, one of the things I'm involved in right now is art. And I was just talking about outside, I was just talking about the fact that I have an art expert that I was going to get a space, and I did, it's still available for him, to do a beautiful sculpture in Newark next door to my office, so that I could walk over there whenever I wanted. And if I want to take some time out to paint something, I was going to have him give me all his pointers and all that. And he is trying to mess up my plan. So that's on another note. But I'm always expanding my knowledge. And what you just said to me is like, if I want this artist to come here and I want to get the most out of him, what I do is practice on my own before, and do some YouTube channel things and whatever, get myself ready so I can ask all the questions and techniques that I need before I get started.
Indeed.
Anytime you do that, people just wait for the class. Some people just wait, and then they don't know that they could prepare themselves before they go and take the class, because everything's on YouTube. You could Google everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was passionate about it. It's something that I really wanted to do. And I wanted to be well prepared coming in. I wanted to understand the material, especially with real estate, it's a little bit different. Schooling is 75 hours, and I decided to take 2 weeks to put it all together. It was a lot of information. So I knew, for me, if I were to come into that type of studying without knowing any material, I would be lost.
Yeah.
So I took several months to, I borrowed a book from a girlfriend of mine who was already a real estate agent. She gave me one of her books, and then YouTube channels, and just diving right in and staying very focused. I had very narrow focus, and I was very proud to say not only did I go to school, pass the real estate school test, but then I also passed the state test, and I was licensed by fall of 2018. So after I do that, you actually have to find a brokerage to hold your license. I decided to go with Keller Williams, which has a very unique and great training and educational program. And coming from an educational background, I said, well, that would work perfect for me because they're about training their agents. So when I first started, I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money. It was a struggle, hustle, but I learned a lot. I still learn a lot, and that's why I love real estate. You learn something new every day. You're always dealing with new people, and it is a team effort. It's not just you, it's you and several minds. And I love the fact that sometimes I can be transparent enough to say I don't know, but I know someone who does. So the circle that I'm surrounded by, I'm very, very impressed. So actually, business has picked up since 2018, and I actually have been recruited the end of last year to Remax out of Montclair. So now I am with Remax, been there for just over a couple, 2-3 months, and I will say my business have really taken off. I've had the pleasure to do both the residential side, both single and multifamily. I've had a taste of land. I closed on a land deal back in February. I did a little bit of commercial, for our commercial lease spacing, and I work both the buyer side and the listing side. So I'm very, very excited about what I do. It motivates me because land and real estate is important because everybody needs it. Everybody needs a place to live. People need a place to work. So it's so very important, and it motivates me because I have a little one, being a single mother, and taking this big leap of faith. You know, I took a humongous pay cut, right? I had to humble myself and take a step back, and also have a real conversation with myself and say, okay, it's not just me, it's me and this little one. How am I going to do this? And of course you have naysayers or people who are concerned and worried. But I didn't let that be placed upon me. And I put all the bets on me. And if I felt that I had God's permission, then who can stop me? So,
and I mean, I'm only really meeting her. I met her on social media, but right now we're talking to the point where I have I'm understanding her character. Now, if I were you, I would be able to make that leap of faith because you are a focused individual. You get prepared before you do the thing, and then you focus to get it done. I'm a person that's distracted. I'm a person that's doing a whole bunch of things at one time. So it would have been hard for me to take that leap. And I thought about that. You know what? Let me tell you. When I was younger, and I had my ex-wife, she was from Hampton, and I met her. I met her when I went to try to get my food stamp plan with Quincy's. I was doing part-time work there. I met her there. So we connected. I love the family atmosphere of her family. So I really fell for that that feeling. So then I was thinking that we make a long story short. Now when I was graduating school and I was working for a little while, I was not really happy at the job because I wasn't master. I wasn't a master yet. It wasn't coming easy. It was a really struggle. It was really late hours and so then we ended up having a baby. And so she was in Virginia. She came here for a while. It didn't work out. She went back and she has, of course, the baby. The mother's got to be with the baby. So I wanted to get a job with Hampton. And I went and got all my certifications to be the aquatics director because what's his name?
It may not have been the same aquatics director.
No, I know his name. No, not right now. But I wanted to take his spot. And so I got all the certs. I was going to go. I was going to take a leap of faith and go. And unfortunately, I didn't get the job. They got somebody that went to school to do that.
Okay.
But I had all the information. Plus, I was architect, so I was in the architecture profession. So it should have been a big enough portfolio. And I went to Hampton, and it's Mr. D, Mr. Duplessis. Mr. Hay, Rim Duplessis, HIU. I'm sorry, I forgot the name for a minute. Yeah, Mr. D. Ma. Of course, he's passed. Rest his. Oh, you did? Yeah. Rest his soul. He was trying. He was trying to set up. He told me, Chris, come do it, because he knew when I was in his scuba diving certification trip, they called me the shark. He knew I was the best swimmer in there, and I was taking the scuba diving thing, so I used to be like Spider-Man and when they were at the bottom of the pool, I used to turn the air off. And then, of course, yeah, you got to.
That's how I remember. That's when I learned how to do the side stroke.
Sure. Yeah. I've taught swimming classes. I've taught lifeguard. I went and got my lifeguard certification, lifeguard instructor certification. Because you teach, if you're doing aquatic director, you got to be able to do all this different thing. So I was going to take a leap of faith and go, and then I didn't get the job. So God had a bigger plan for me. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. Yeah.
And I'll tell you this: the big reason why I took that leap is because I lost my mother in 2001. I just turned 21. So I was just entering adulthood. And just that life experience, and still, even years later, understanding that life is short and life is precious. And that if you follow your purpose, things will move out the way. And there's always going to be 1,000 reasons to say no to something. And I made sure that I wouldn't allow fear to dictate the way I live. I saw fear as far as, my mother was ill, cancer actually. She died from complications of cancer. And just, looking at, my mother from being healthy and then seeing her deteriorate in front of my eyes. It just gave me such a will to keep going and not to be afraid. And I'm a part of her legacy. And if she was here in front of me, she would say, go for it.
Right.
And now as I look at my daughter, and even, I did have my fears. I had to kind of just take them and put them away. Because she has to look at me, and I want her to look at me with a pride in her eyes, because I didn't allow fear to say, don't do it.
Right.
Just go for it.
You know what? Almost every other show, I give my little spiel about fear. Fear is only good when it's going to protect you from harming yourself or harming somebody else. Otherwise, it's really it doesn't do anything for you. So when I removed the fear from my heart, I think it was like almost 4 years ago, I filled it with love. So that in itself is the energy that I represent. There's no fear of me going in front of. That's why I like to do karaoke. That's why I don't care where. I'll dance in front of the camera. I'll dance in front of the camera. I'll have fun, because why should I care that they're judging me? Why should I care that they see me acting silly? It's part of my character. I want you to love me for me. Everybody's individual. Everybody's their own person. And as long as I'm not hurting nobody and I'm not trying to denigrate anybody or put anybody down, don't bother me. And your fear is just not going to do anything for you unless you say you got fight or flight. Unless you're going to run because somebody's shooting. Why use it? And when you said that you got rid of the fear, I know you filled it with the faith. Your faith filled it.
Most definitely. And I'm very, very honored and privileged of the circle of people, my family and friends that are around me. I always was taught, you look out and you look at the people who are around you, you determine who you are in your future.
Sure.
And I'm very impressed with my circle of friends. I'm very impressed who I keep around me. And I don't mind not being the smartest person in the room.
Right.
Why? Because become a sponge.
And
you're able to navigate between different rooms.
Sure.
And I'm able to navigate between different rooms. From being an educator, from being a dance teacher, from being a choreographer, from being a producer, from now being a real estate agent, and just understanding the conversations now. Just even overhearing your conversation that you just had. I'm just learning now as far as how many projects you have in your hands. And it's just, just being in the right circles and identifying what's the right circle for you. May not be the right circle for someone else. It might. And just understanding, or like that discernment, understanding that, sometimes you have to remove yourself from certain people if they're not necessarily toxic, but they don't help you grow
Yeah.
or prune off the bad parts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid to say goodbye to certain people or close certain doors if it doesn't help promote myself and my family. Right? So at the end of the day, I keep my head down. I stay focused. I lead with gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always thankful. The moment I wake up, I'm so very, very thankful.
Yeah.
Because even in my toughest storms, even with, like the things that I've been through, my own personal testimonies, I can still say thank you. In fact, if it wasn't for the blessings that I have around me, the ancestors who have been paving my way, I wouldn't be here. Like, I'm truly honored to even be sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Me too. And every time you say something, we're such, you don't know this. We are such aligned in our path.
Yeah.
You just said everything that made me a better person. Because once I learned about gratitude, every night before I go to bed, I understand the law of attraction. I understand the law of the universe. I say thank you for life, love, happiness, health, wealth, and abundance. And you don't think it's happening? You don't think it's coming my way? Because I've already thanked him, and that means in advance before it got here. That means you hear that? That means in advance before it got here. Not just because you got the information, not just because you got the job. You got to thank him for it before you get it. Yep. I don't think before I started saying these prayers of gratitude that I was abundant. I don't think before I said that I was getting and I'm not saying it has to be, when I say abundance, it doesn't have to be wealth. No, it's because of this energy, this connection that we have right now, the fact that you're here, I feel so filled. Yes. And I wanted to stop in one other thing, because when it comes to realtors, I know there's good realtors and there's bad realtors. So before we're going to end off with this, and then we'll do something really quick positive. Okay. Let's do the bad first and then the good realtor. Okay. What would you describe as a bad realtor?
A realtor who thinks they can do everything all themselves.
But what about the amount that they're supposed to get paid? Is there a realtor that takes advantage and finds different ways to grab some money from here, grab some money from there? He should have a team out there of people that do stuff, and every time they bring a project, they get a little bit of that money.
As a licensed realtor, you have a fiduciary responsibility to not only yourself, your brokers, but also your clients. You have to lead with honesty. So those who take advantage of things, for instance, their commission, or even how they deal with their transaction with the other side, I'll say this. Anyone who leads the wrong way, it'll catch up to them eventually. I know with my business, honesty is the best policy. And I always am very transparent. I would say I may not know everything, but I could call somebody who does, who may know this question or who may know this answer. Real estate is truly a team sport. Sure. It is the team coming together on behalf of your client, whether you're on the buyer side or if you're on the listing side. And more heads are truly better than one. If you try to do it all by yourself, you're gonna fail. Yeah,
and I've been hearing some stories. Like, there's folks out there that are developers, and they are using other people's money to do these jobs a lot of times, and they team up with realtors, and sometimes the realtor understands that it's a money game and gets a little loosey-goosey. Now, I'm not saying that they don't follow the fiduciary policy, but then it seems like sometimes the team, like you said, the team is so important, because if you have you get a person a house, they get some 203K loan, and then they have a contractor that takes all their money, and that person you referred to that contractor by this realtor, you have tarnished yourself.
So I was told by one of my brokers, actually Keller Williams, and when it comes down to recommend, that you should always do at least 3. And tell your client, even though I'm recommending, if you feel uncomfortable, don't take this person. Sure. You may want to, try someone else or reach out to other people. But have to be transparent. And if there is a problem, like I would say to my clients, if there is a problem, something you don't feel, you're not connecting, let me know,
Yeah.
and then let me see what I can do to help alleviate or change the position of things. But yeah, because not only does it wreck your reputation, it wrecks your business if you put forth someone who doesn't deliver their service. So it's very, very important. But yeah, always recommend at least 3 people. And if you don't know at least 3 people, as far as 3 vendors or 3 contractors, then you reach out to some of your other agents or reach out to your broker. You have to use the pool of resources around you, because that's what makes you stronger. It's like building your kingdom. It's not just the king. It's the king and everyone else.
Sure.
And really the queen, should I say, and everyone else.
And when you're giving prices, like for instance, there's realtors that think that they know construction costs. They think that they because they've seen other projects and they've heard some numbers that they can basically tell a client that, oh yeah, that's a good fee for that service, and they don't understand the ins and outs of construction. You don't know. Listen, when you're a realtor and a realtor's going into a house and they come up with some idea that they know how much it's going to cost to rehab the house, and then you haven't opened up them walls your damn self to see what's behind the walls and how much cutting corners some of these contracts and stuff. You are just leading that flock to a cliff. So I want to just give you guys, I'm glad that I have a really good realtor here. How do they find you? Let's tell them how you found it.
Well, you can find me at Nadiyah Smith Sales on IG. Should I spell that out? That's a long name. Nadiyah, Nadiyah, Smith, Smith, Sales, SELLS, on IG, all one word. And then I'm a part of Remax Select Montclair. Very simple. You can just
Remax,
Google it and you'll find me. And then as far as my email address is the same thing, NadiahSmithSales@gmail.com.
Right. And you're on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn, but I'll be very honest, and I know this is bad. I don't use it as much as I should.
If you don't have to, you don't
I don't use it as much as I should.
What about Facebook? Is Facebook?
I am on Facebook, and I'm under my my last name McCoy, so it's Nadiyah McCoy on Facebook.
Sure. We did it again, y'all. Community All Unite TV. We want to thank Nadiyah for coming and giving us all this beautiful information that should be able to help people. And she loves the people, the youth. So why not, if you call her and get her to help you answer some questions for you, I'm sure she'd be great to do that. And I want to tell you guys, every Thursday, please tune in. We're actually looking for corporate sponsorship. We're also looking for small business sponsorship. We are also looking to help small businesses by promoting your business. So that we're doing all that with you. So please just give back a little bit so we can keep on doing this and expand. We want to go to we want to go Altice Cable. We're at Comcast Cable now, and we're at Xfinity, but we want to expand, and we want to be global one day. But Essex County is where we're starting. We're starting this, right? Thank you, Father God, for making me global. I want to go to Africa and have the show here in Africa. I want to be in Paris so I can go talk to you guys about the architecture out there. And yeah, I'm going to Dubai in October. I'm going to be talking to y'all about Dubai's architecture. You don't think so? You know, or you heard about it. I know you Googled it and you saw it. We're going to talk about that. So please keep tuning in. Comcast Cable and Xfinity, channel 1097 and 190, every Thursday from 8 to 8:30. And we will be back next week. Over and out.
Community.
It's a fight now.
Right now.
It's a fight now.
Community.
It's a fight now.
Head high. Get ready for a fight now.
It's a fight now.
Eyes wide. It's now.
It's a fight now. It's a fight now.
Just remember and fill your heart with love now. In your truth, you find is the key now. Reach your fear and you will all be free now. Community.